Freedom of conscience is one of God's greatest gifts, and it's being challenged on every front. Governments want to control how we live. Corporations try to shape how we think. And yes, even churches sometimes try to pressure people into conformity rather than leading them to conviction. But here's the heart of the issue. You can't change people by force. You can make them comply, but you can't make them love righteousness. That's not how salvation works. I was listening to a podcast by Pastor Ron Kelly where he brought up this concept, and I want to share it with you because it was really insightful to me, that in the final crisis, this is exactly what the world is going to get wrong. People will believe that if they can just force others to do the right thing, to pass the right laws, compel the right worship, that somehow they can make society moral again. But that's the spirit of the beast. It's the idea that external pressure can produce inward change. But the gospel teaches that the exact opposite is the case. Righteousness by faith is not behavior control, it's heart transformation. It's a miracle of grace. It's what happens when a sinner has a personal encounter with Christ and receives his righteousness as a gift that then changes his life. And that's the only kind of change that's going to last. And that's why the mark of the beast and the seal of God are about so much more than outward signs. They're about who controls the heart. One side believes that salvation can be enforced, and the other side knows that it can only be received. But this principle isn't just for the end times, it's for us right now. Because whenever we try to push someone into doing what we think is right, whether it's in our homes, our churches, or in society in general, we are reflecting the wrong kingdom. That doesn't mean that we should stay silent. When leaders, either civil or religious, lead people astray, we must speak up and make our voices heard for sure. But our methods must match our message. We persuade with truth and reason and the power of the Holy Spirit, not with pressure or manipulation or control. Yes, it's true that a church has the duty to guard its pulpit from false teaching, but it should never dictate the conscience of its members or demand blind conformity. God calls for unity in the great pillars of truth, not for uniformity in every opinion. And there's a big difference between those two. So in these last days, when freedom of conscience is under siege, let's just remember that the power of the beast is coercion, but the power of the Lamb is love and free choice. So let's stand for truth, but never try to force it. Let's speak boldly, but always with respect. Because righteousness by faith isn't about control, it's about transformation. And freedom is the soil where that miracle, that change takes root. Have a great week.